3 to 4 years ago, when I first started going to the gym, everything changed. The first few weeks, they were insane. I would wake up sore, I would look in the mirror, and I would constantly be seeing progress. Every time I would train, the pump was unreal. My veins were popping, strength was going up every single session. I thought I had it all figured out, but then it all stopped. It all just started to go downhill. Suddenly, all the progress that I was making started to slow. I was looking the same for a while, my strength wasn't really going up anymore. But the thing is, I was training harder than ever. It was the hardest I had ever trained from when I first started the gym, but nothing was changing. If anything, I was getting worse results from when I first started the gym. And then I started to doubt myself. Maybe I wasn't eating enough, maybe I had hit my genetic limit, or maybe my genetics just suck. But the truth is, I finally figured out I was making the same mistakes that 90% of guys make within their first year of lifting that kills their progress. And if you're watching this, the chances are very high that you're probably making the same mistakes as well. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the 5 beginner mistakes that most people make that cost them their gains. I'm going to tell you how to fix them and what I wish someone had told me before I spent months doing the same thing over and over again without seeing any results. Alright, mistake number 1, fasted workouts. A lot of people make this mistake due to social media, due to influencers telling you that if you do fasted workouts, you're going to burn more fat. That is a complete lie. Now, all these mistakes, I've done them myself, otherwise I wouldn't be making this video. When I was doing fasted workouts, I felt productive. It feels productive to do a fasted workout. You wake up, you're training on an empty stomach, you feel like you're burning insane amounts of fat. But here's what really happens, or what's gonna happen if you haven't done this already. You're weaker, your performance is going to drop, and your cortisol is going to spike. There are so many studies that show that training on an empty stomach reduces muscle protein synthesis, meaning in basic terms, you are limiting the amount of muscle that you can build. If you truly want to build muscle and progress towards a better physique than you're currently in now, stop training on an empty stomach. What you want to do is around 2 hours before your workout, you're going to have a meal consisting of carbs, proteins, and fats. And around 30 minutes before your workout, you're going to have a smaller meal that consists of mainly carbs. Fast digesting carbs as well, so that when you're working out, those carbs are acting quick. And I'm telling you now, within your first week of eating meals before your workout, you are going to see a huge difference. Your performance is going to go higher. You're going to see a sudden increase in your strength in the gym. You're going to start training harder, you're going to lift heavier, and you're going to grow faster. Now that I know what it feels like to train with pre-workout meals and high carb meals before my workout, I feel like a fool for ever doing fasted workouts. The only fasted workout I'd ever do these days is fasted cardio early in the morning. So don't make the same mistake I did, thinking I was being disciplined because I wasn't eating before my workout, when really and truly all I was doing was holding myself back. Alright, let's talk about the second mistake now. And I feel like this one is even worse because it feels like you're doing everything right. Mistake number 2 is you're not tracking your progress. Back when I used to make all these mistakes, I would go into the gym thinking I'm just going to lift heavy and I'll see how it goes. But the thing is, if you're not tracking anything, you're just guessing. And this goes with everything in life. Your goals, whether it be in the gym or out the gym. If you're not tracking your progress, you probably are going to make less progress and you're going to be guessing how much progress you are making, sometimes overestimating or even underestimating. With my one-to-one clients, I make sure that every rep, every single set, and every single weight is logged down. That way, we can know how much progress we're actually making and if we need to make any changes within our program. Because you need to understand that you're not just going to grow muscle from just going to the gym and training hard, if you're even training hard. True muscle growth comes from progressive overload. Now, we can take the scientific aspect and say muscle growth doesn't come from progressive overload and it actually comes from muscle stimulation, all that stuff. But as a beginner, you don't need to know that stuff. If you try and get stronger every single session, you're going to build more muscle. Because if you're not lifting more weight or doing more reps on a certain weight or improving performance overall, your body doesn't have a reason to change. It's going to stay the same. And there's multiple research studies backing this up, that the people who actually tracked their workouts made nearly double the strength gains than the people who didn't. And the main reason is tracking forces you to hold yourself accountable. And it makes you chase improvement in your sessions, not just going through the motion. You know what weight you lifted last session? Next time you go in the gym and do that same exercise, you're obviously going to want to lift more. Why would you want to stay the same? Whereas if you didn't track that, you would just go in and choose a random weight and try and get as many reps as you can with it, not knowing if you're improving or not. From now on, every time you train, you're gonna treat it like a science experiment. Now, I'm not saying that you need to obsess over it. All you need to do is track your reps, sets, and weights. Because I'm telling you now, for about a year of my fitness journey, I was guessing all of my weights and I realized I wasn't progressing. Newbie gains will only take you so far. After that, you need to start tracking everything. You can't keep guessing. Because at the end of the day, what you measure is what's gonna grow. All right, mistake number 3. This one might surprise you because it's the opposite of what a lot of influencers tell you. Mistake number 3 is doing too many reps. Here is where most beginners completely mess up, including myself when I was a beginner. They think that doing more equals more, when really and truly that's not the case for when you're in the gym. They're constantly just chasing that burn, chasing that pump, the sweat, the exhaustion, and not actually making any progress towards their goal. I mean, I used to do it too. 5-6 sets of bench, 20 reps every single set, and I thought I was progressing. I'd be in the gym until I could barely move my arms. I thought that was me pushing myself. You see, in the gym, that's the difference between what effort and intensity is. There's a huge difference between training hard and just training for a long time. If you actually want to build a good physique, if you actually want to grow, you need to start training with intent and not just keep on chasing that pump. And again, all these mistakes, they are backed up by studies. I wouldn't be telling you this if there were no studies done on them. I'm not just giving you my opinion, these are actual facts. So with this one, the studies showed that doing 6 to 10 reps close to failure is going to build you more muscle than doing 15 to 30 reps with low weight. As long as your intensity is high and you're taking your sets close to failure. A simple structure for this is the majority of your exercises are going to have 3 sets, 1 warm-up set and 2 sets to failure. You might think 2 sets to failure, is that really enough? Yes, I guarantee you that is enough. So if you've been training with baby weights just to chase that pump and take that gorgeous physique picture after your workout, you need to stop that, because you're gonna have the same physique picture for the next 2 years if you keep on doing that. Push near failure, you're gonna rest, you're gonna recover, and then you're gonna grow. Mistake number 4 is overtraining. Here is what most beginners don't understand about building muscle. You don't build muscle by destroying your body. You build muscle by using it, by recruiting your muscle. Think of it like this, every time you train, you're not just moving weight, you are recruiting muscle fibers. Your nervous system is sending signals to your muscles that's telling them to fire so that you can lift that weight. Really and truly, that's what strength and muscle growth is. Your body learns to recruit more muscle fibers. It's improved recruitment. Here's the problem. Your nervous system obviously is going to have some limits. When you are consistently training, when you're training too often, you're pushing yourself too far, or you're not recovering enough, your nervous system is going to start to fatigue. Your ability to recruit those fibers are going to drop. You might feel like you're training harder, but you probably aren't. You're lifting less weight with less force. That's what overtraining is. You don't need to have sore muscles for you to be overtraining. Overtraining is simply a burnt out nervous system. This was going to happen to you if you try to train 6 or 7 times a week. You really and truly only need to train 4 times a week to see maximum progress. Now you might think training 6 to 7 times a week is going to make you disciplined, but that's just inefficient. You can do 4 days of weight training and resistance training and 3 days of cardio, of low intensity cardio, especially if you're someone that's trying to lose fat. There's completely nothing wrong with that. But if you're going in the gym 7 days a week doing resistance training, that's when you're going overboard. You're training to stimulate muscle growth, not to annihilate your body. When you rest, your nervous system is going to reset. That way, when you go back in the gym for your next session, you're going to be able to push harder and have higher quality sets. You're going to be able to recruit more muscle fibers than you did before. Moving on to the last mistake. Mistake number 5 is you do not hold yourself accountable. This is one of the most important ones, because without accountability, you are not going to see any progress. A lack of accountability leads to a lack of consistency. I mean, as a beginner, I'm sure you've told yourself so many times, I swear I'm gonna go to the gym today. You didn't go to the gym. I swear I'm gonna be more consistent. You haven't been more consistent. You constantly make excuses that stop you from reaching your goal. And the thing is, it's not because you don't want it. I know you want to level up in life and achieve the goals that you set for yourself, but the only reason you're not making progress towards them is because you don't hold yourself accountable, or you've stopped holding yourself accountable. Because when we all set new goals, we're gonna be excited to achieve those goals. The first week or 2, or even the first month, you're gonna be making progress towards that goal. But then you start to fall off because motivation starts to drop and you stop holding yourself accountable. You start letting your emotions decide if you're gonna show up to that gym session. And when you skip a session, you just tell yourself it's just gonna be 1 session. But then that 1 session turns into 2 sessions. That 2 sessions turns into a whole missed week. And by the end of the week, that motivation to progress to your better self completely fades away and you're back at phase 1. This is why most people lose and make no progress towards their fitness goals or just goals in general. You don't lack potential. A lot of us have potential. It's simply because you break the promises that you keep on making to yourself. Like I said before, no accountability means no consistency. And without consistency, you are never gonna see progress, no matter how good your plan or no matter how perfect your plan is. You can have the perfect training plan, the perfect diet plan, the perfect supplement protocol, but without consistency in all of these things, you aren't gonna see any progress at all. You can't build muscle showing up when you feel like it. You can't progress towards any of your goals showing up when you feel like it. If you keep on negotiating with your own excuses and trying to come up with more and more and more excuses, you are not gonna build that confidence that you want. If you know you can't train 7 days a week, why would you tell yourself you're gonna train 7 days a week and break that promise to yourself? Start off with 3 days a week or 4 days a week and just go on from there. Because the moment that you stop following through with this goal, that's when you stop trusting yourself and everything just goes downhill from there. Ride that momentum and keep on progressing towards that goal that you set for yourself. Stop letting yourself off so easy. Hold yourself accountable, because no one's gonna come and save you. All right, most guys fail not because they don't want it, but because they keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again. So you can spend years making the same mistake over and over again, constantly guessing on how you can fix something or what you should do in the gym, what you should be eating, or you can follow a plan that will actually get you results. So if you are someone that's finally done wasting time doing the same mistakes over and over again, and you're finally ready to build muscle, to lose fat, to stay consistent this time, hit the link below in the description for my one-to-one coaching application, and I'll reach out to you and I will personally help you get into the best shape of your life within the next 3 to 6 months. So if this sounds like something that you want to do, hit the application and we can talk. Otherwise, if you feel like one-to-one coaching is too much of a big step for you right now and you kind of just want to get your foot in the door, check out the Gains Pro School. It's got every single thing that you need from training, nutrition, and supplements so that you can finally get started towards making real progress towards a better physique. That's it for today, guys. Once we hit 5K followers on this account, I'm going to be taking on a free client and getting him from skinny or overweight to completely jacked. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want that to be you. And I will see you guys in the next video.